Well, always love going to Winnipeg, although we got to do it from a distance. Last week we were with Calvin Pickard. Why not stay there in the great province of Manitoba with the great Dylan McIlrath? Mac, how the heck are you?
I'm as good as I can be in these times, but yeah, hanging in there.
Melissa doing well?
Melissa's doing great. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I don't know about you, but I've talked to people about, what's the one thing that you never imagined you'd do in your lifetime? And obviously, I think most people are finding out there is something there that you never thought you'd ever do just because of the amount of time you have, the spare time you have. Mine has been doing crossword puzzles. How about you guys? Is there something that you find yourself doing that you never in a million years imagined you would be?
Yeah. I picked up some drawing. I just started sketching out of nowhere one day, just out of boredom, and then it's been a habit lately. So I don't know if that'll stick, but it's been going on the last few weeks.
Well, guess what? You'll be picked for next season. Then pint-sized Picasso every week. They'll be going to Dylan McIlrath.
Yeah, no, I'm ready now. Got my practice in.
So how's the, tell everybody, north of the border, obviously, I think coronavirus has affected, obviously, the entire world. I don't think quite as bad. In fact, I was reading something the other day. Winnipeg had their first death not too long ago, and obviously one is too many. I noticed they raised a ton of money through a fundraiser, about $350,000 to help fight coronavirus. It certainly is affecting, the big city of Winnipeg as well.
Yeah, it is. But I think people here kind of took precautions pretty early, at least in my circle. Everyone has, and we kind of try to stay in our little bubble and try to, obviously do everything that they're asking us to do. And it hasn't hit as bad here, but I think we're a little lucky just with when people were traveling and going into isolation. So so far has been limited, but yeah, we're just kind of waiting and seeing like everyone else.
They say warm weather will help fight coronavirus, whether that's true or not. Doctors, a lot of them, scientists say that it will. We're all waiting for it. I don't know if there's any snow still on the ground in Winnipeg, but I was telling you before we started this interview, we haven't had much warm weather down this way either.
Yeah, there is a tiny bit. We had a really nice day yesterday, so hopefully that's it's going to consistently be like that, but you never know. It did snow on my birthday a few days ago, so I'm not ruling anything out.
Well, obviously we can't have a chat with Dylan McIlrath without asking about Leo as well. That big Burmese mountain dog you've got, huh?
Yeah, he's liking this cold weather for sure. He likes north of the border for that reason. So he got an extended winter here, so he's doing good.
I know he misses his visits to the office at Van Andel Arena, at the Griffins office. Everybody in the office, by the way, and I've told you, they know when he's there because he'll bark, and that bark shakes not only our office but pretty much all of Van Andel Arena.
Yeah, that's true. He gets spoiled by the front office from you guys with all his pats and pats, and I've heard him even in the locker room sometimes barking. So, he's a presence, but he loves the Van Andel just as much as I do for sure.
Well, speaking of spoiled, no doubt that we all are very spoiled to have Dylan McIlrath, one of our favorites. You've become a crowd pleaser, no doubt, from the time you came to Grand Rapids. Mac, we're just reminiscing a short time ago about I'll never forget the day that you came to us in that deadline trade. And Connor Allen, who was a teammate of yours in Hartford for a brief period of time, everybody asking him, who's this Dylan McIlrath guy? And he just said, he's the missing piece to the puzzle. And the way he said it, and as it turned out, you were the missing piece to the puzzle, of course, made a huge impact leading this team to the 2017 Calder Cup.
Yeah, it seems like ever since that day, it kind of changed my life. Getting traded to Grand Rapids and going on that run and just all those special memories, and then being able to sign back here the last few years, it's been awesome, and I wouldn't change anything for the world.
And you'll be back next year, although given the performance in your 16, 17, 18 games in Detroit this past year, I got a feeling there might be quite a few more games in the winged wheel. It was a pretty impressive run you had there playing in Detroit.
Yeah, it was great. Coming into camp last season, that was a major goal of mine, was to try to make the team out of camp. Obviously that didn't happen, but getting called up early in the season was was great. And then being able to play consistently was awesome too. That had been my kind of first time playing consistently that many games in a row, probably ever in the NHL, to be honest. So it was great to get that experience under my belt, and hopefully I can build off that coming into next year.
And I know that weighs on you a little bit, doesn't it? The fact that you've not played your entire career in the National Hockey League, and a first-round draft pick, Mac, as everybody knows, but you've been such a credit to the game at both the American League and the NHL level, and cracked the lineup in New York early on. In fact, we were talking about how you brought the house down a few times, and when you can do that at Madison Square Garden, that's an accomplishment because more times than not, the fans are on you versus rooting for you.
Yeah, true. Obviously, they're great memories in New York. The organization was going through a bit of a transition. They wanted to win now, and they had high expectations. So kind of fell out of the fold there, but still try. It's a journey though. I'm trying to work my way back, and hopefully this year with Detroit, I'll be able to have my presence in the NHL again.
Well, and certainly still a pretty young man, although just turned 28. Happy birthday, by the way. You and Pickard both, you guys just follow suit and everything up there in Winnipeg, huh?
Yeah, we're I know it's ironic, but it's different kind of birthday this year, but it was nice to be around some family.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what'd you do? Like any great gifts? Anything special? I mean, it's locked in the house, pretty tough.
Yeah, a lot of IOU gifts, but I was able to at least enjoy it with my parents. So that was something that doesn't usually happen. So take silver lining, I guess.
Dylan, we talk. You and I talk all the time about whether it's on our radio broadcast or TV interviews or now doing this Zoom thing. The one thing we've always shied away from is to emphasize the fighting part of hockey. Everybody wants to look at Dylan McIlrath and say he's the fighter. And people, I think, sometimes forget the fact that you were a first-round draft pick for a reason, not just because you're a big, tough dude, but you can play the game. And you've shown that here in Grand Rapids. But we do like to talk about the scraps a little bit and the scrums. That's the one thing I think everybody wants to know. You're in a lot of those, although you come out of them not that many times dropping the gloves because not many willing combatants. But those scrums, I know I'd love to be in the middle of them and at least have a microphone in there so we can hear what's going on. What's some of the good stuff that you can share with fans? Some of it obviously you can't, but there's got to be some pretty good stories you can tell about some of those scrums that go on.
Yeah, I mean, that part of hockey will always be there. Scrums, obviously. When I was a rookie, one of the good ones was I think it was my first ever preseason game with New York, and just so green, and knew I wanted to make my presence felt, but didn't really know how to. And early on, it was a quick scrum in front of the net, and I think it was just a guy like David Clarkson, so not necessarily a fighter, but a guy with an edge. And he just said something like, "The best things in life are free, kid." And I just didn't know what that meant. He was trying to get in my head, so I just pushed him away, and I was rattled. And I soon later realized it's a mental game. Obviously, you're not going to fight every time you're in a scrum, but if you can get in someone's ear and let them know that you're going to be there all night or whatever, and that goes a long way, I think. So, and then obviously there's the generic swear words exchanged back and forth, but it's mainly for me at least just making sure they know I'm going to be around all night.
There aren't many guys going to mess around with you. I go back to your NHL. I think it was your third or fourth NHL game. You were looking to make your presence felt. I think you took on Ryan Reeves. In fact, he's a big horse. He's about as big. He's like a Dustin Byfuglien size guy. Yeah,
he's a big boy, and I actually know him a little bit because he's from Winnipeg and we skate together in the summers. And it was lining up against him was definitely nerve-wracking, but we got to talk about it after, which was fun.
We talked about, and you fared pretty well in that scrap against him. You had one against, you ran somebody over. I can't recall who it was now, playing for the Rangers. Luke, but anyway, you wound up fighting Luke Shannon, did well against him. And as we said, Madison Square Garden was very loud. They love guys like Dylan McIlrath.
Yeah, that was a fun couple set of games. I think I had a scrap the night before in Boston on Thanksgiving, and then got to play Philly the next night, and same thing happened. So gained a little momentum there with the fans, and got on a couple scraps, and yeah, it was good times.
Big guy like you too. You talk about Ryan Reeves. All the tough guys are the best of friends, which amazes me. I've always marveled at that. And they're also the best of all hockey players, in my estimation. And brings us to something we talked to Calvin Pickett about last week too, Dylan. And we thank you for the contributions to the community here in Grand Rapids, not only over the last couple of years, but even recently. Got a great email from Jeff Lobdell, who owns the Bagel Beanery and Beltline Bar. You guys donated a lot of money to buy some bagels for doctors and nurses at the hospitals, and also opened up a Beltline Bar for some dinners for health care workers. And Jeff Lobdell just said, "Hey, hockey guys have said all along they're just the best of people."
Well, yeah, I mean that's the least we could do for all those frontline workers and what they're doing. And I mean, obviously being in the community in Grand Rapids the last few years, it's really important to me that everyone stays safe and healthy. And I mean, it's a small little gesture, but anything to make those healthcare workers ease their day a bit. We're happy to help.
You're a good man, Dylan McIlrath. Lots of time on your hands. You've been tuned in some Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going through all the playlists right now. It's there's nothing much to do other than work out and listen to music, and it's like drawing now for me.
Yeah, drawing. There you go. Scar Tissue. I saw you read Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's a book on Red Hot Chili Peppers, right?
Yeah, the book on Anthony Kiedis.
Kiedis. Yeah.
I don't read much, but that book really was one of my favorites. I couldn't put it down.
How's so as far as workout? I got to ask everybody the same thing. What are you doing? You can't get on the ice. So what is Dylan McIlrath doing to be ready to go whenever he gets the green light to go?
You know what? I'm lucky. My gym here, I've been going to for the last 10 years, so I have a good relationship, and I was able to take some equipment home and get a program tailored to what I had and the space I have right now. So I've just been doing what I can. I've been consistently working out for about 3.5 weeks here. So, I mean, just trying to, again, stay in shape. And, I mean, inevitably it'll be a long process. So I'm kind of building up, if it's not this season, for next year for sure.
Hey, Dylan, thanks for doing this. Stay safe, stay healthy, say hi to the family for me.
Of course. Thanks, Bob.